What's up, guys? This is Anthony. I just made it in from Brazil, into Brazil from the States. My uncle passed away, and he left me this farm here in Brazil. I have a cab driver taking me out there to it, and we're going to check it out and see all we need and what kind of condition it's in. So, hopefully, I can get a hold of my cousin here later. Uh, she called me and said she was going to be out of town for a little while. So when she gets back in town, she's probably going to come out and help me with the farm too. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, we're here at the farm. Let's see what we got going on here. Alright. The gate's closed. It looks like it might be locked. Let's see if I can figure out where the key is. Make sure it's locked. Okay, yes. It's definitely locked. Let me check the mailbox. Here it is. Alright. Let's go check this out. So far, so good. It's a little grown up, but that should be expected. He was in bad health before he passed away. Alright. Not too bad. I see a lot of equipment. What is this right here? This looks like a cultivator. Nice shape. It ain't all rusted. That will come in handy. Here's a propane tank. I guess that is to heat the house and for cooking. Ain't much to look like that with the house, but it's a roof over my head and a bed to sleep in. So, can't complain about that. And it does have air conditioner. Look at there. A little bit of junk outside the shop. Might have to clean that up later. And there's my uncle's old truck. Look at there. I wonder if it still runs. We'll have to check that out here later. There's an old boat. He did a little bit of fishing on the side when he had time. Oh, look at that. Some wagon wheels. That's neat. Old wagon. Go check the barn. I see some equipment of some tractors. Let's open up the bay doors and see what we got. Look at there. Got a Case IH. Pretty nice. Small, but we don't really need a big combine. A Fiat. A fertilizer spreader. We've got a couple of tractors back here. Nice little John Deere. Look at this one. It's quite a big one. It's an aggro. That's probably our biggest tractor on the farm, the way it looks. Another John Deere, a Fiat. Pretty nice looking tractors. They ain't all rusted out, so can't complain. I love this International. Look at that. Alright, let's open the back page. See what we got back here. Got a mulcher. That will come handy when we start harvesting and prepping the fields afterwards. Looks like a weeder over here. Pretty nice. All the equipment looks like it's been taken well care of. Alright, what we got here? Oh, yeah. It is a plow. Something to plow the ground. That's pretty nice. It looks small, but it might surprise me. And got a corn header on a header trailer. Looks like a grain header. It has its own header trailer. That's pretty nice. Everything looks good and clean. I can tell he took well care of his equipment. The farm was kind of rough looking, but he took well care of his equipment. Yeah, that's a planer. Okay, let's look at the grain truck here. I wonder if it starts. Let's try it out. Alright, I believe we can get it started. That's nice. Alright, let's test, see if it goes front, forward, and reverse. Yeah, everything's checking out. Runs pretty good. Alright, let's check these grain bins. What do we have in there? I wonder if there's any grain. No, it's no grain up in here. Let's check the other one. Nope, it's empty too. We'll have to work on that. We're starting from scratch here. Got a grain trailer. Nice equipment. Alright, what we got over here? Oh, look at this old tractor here. I wonder if it runs. Looks like a new battery on it. Not sure if it runs or not. Get on here and try it out. Sounds like it needs the fuel drained and replaced. That'll be a project for later on. Okay. Looks like an old chicken coop that's been converted into a little sitting area. Pretty neat. My uncle, he loved nature. He loved just coming out sitting sometimes. We got a little bit of trash junk over here. Yeah, we might have to clean this up later. That might be a hazard to the equipment when I bring it in. What's over here? Oh, look at here. It's an old car. Some junk cars. Can you imagine what these look like when they was new? That's pretty cool. Look at this. Got brush growing through it. It's been sitting here so long. I guess this is something my uncle was planning on flipping and restoring at one point, but never got around to doing it. What is this? It's like a storage container. I wonder what's all in that. I'm gonna have to check that out later. Might be some good stuff in there. You never know. There's our propane tank. All right. Ooh, look at there. Hand pump, water pump. That's pretty neat. Old school. All right. Let's see. I might do some contracts to get some money later on, but I think we have a few things we got to do with our fields. Let me go check the fields, see what we got. All right. Look around for a second. I believe we have a map inside. I can go look. All right. Got a couple of fields up here. Nothing planted in them. We might have to get something planted in there when it's in season. There's a cornfield that I'd love to buy, but I don't have the money right now to get. We'll have to work on that. All right, got a few fields over here. Another little cornfield. Up here, in the corner up here, it looks like that's a cornfield too. All right, I got some corn I can harvest later. There's a cornfield there I could get a hold of when I get the money. All right. So what can we do now? Let's see. Looks like we need to do some weeding. I do have a weeder. We can try it out. If it ain't already past grown, Bill weed it out. We can always try it. All right, let's do go get that weeder. There's the weeder. All right, what tractor I'm gonna use? I like the International over there. I think I'm gonna move this out of the way and pull that International out. Let's work this in here. It's a little tight fit, but we can get it out. Alright, it kind of died on me there. I had to start it back up. Pull this back here. Alright, that should be enough space to get me out. I'm gonna have to work it out here. Pull up. Let's back it up. Squeeze through here. It's a little bit of tight fit, but we can work our way out. Alright, look at there. Oh my God, look at there. Come on. Come on, Case, you can do it. Back it up slowly. Yeah. I'm gonna end up trashing this barn before too long if I don't watch it. Alright. Alright, let's get this hooked up and let's get out to the field. Alright, guys, we made it to the field. Let's see if this works. Let's hope that it's not already overgrown. We'll have to go get a sprayer if it is. If not, we might just have to let the field grow and work on it next planting. Get some guidelines down here. Unfold. Alright, lower it down. See what it does. Alright, don't look like it's doing anything. No, I guess it's already too late to weed it out. We're gonna have to get that worked on with a sprayer, or if I'm able to buy a sprayer. It's just not working. Alright. I guess we can do some contracts. I will look up, see if there's any contracts around here. Make some extra cash until buy some time until we can do some more planting. Check it out. See how much a sprayer cost. I want to check the weeders out. See if there's a different one. Yeah, that's the one I have. And I can't afford nothing right now. Go up here to sprayers. Check out the sprayers. Alright. Everything's out of my budget. Alright, we got to make some money. I'm going to have to do some contracts to get some money. Yeah, these require extra equipment to use. Oh, okay. I guess we can do some contracts. Alright, let's get this back to the farm. Check out the map, see if there's anything. Nope. Alright. Let's get out of the field here. All right, let's get this part. We're gonna have to look at some contracts and see what we got going. See what we can do. I might have to borrow some equipment because the equipment I got is kind of small. So let's see what we got. Don't want to do no dead wood. It doesn't pay well. Oh, there's some hoeing jobs. It looks like down there. Huh. Yeah. Let's get this one right here. This looks like a fairly easy job. I'll borrow the equipment because their equipment's a lot more bigger than ours. We can get this field done faster. That way, it ain't gonna cost me much to borrow it. Pretty good penny. All right. Mr. Walter here. We're gonna accept it. Borrow the equipment. All right. We'll just leave this tractor right here. And let's go see if we can get that truck running. I have a feeling it runs. My uncle loved this truck. So it's been through a lot with him. It's been sitting for about a month now. So let's check it out. Alright, let's get in there and start it up, see what it does. Give it a little gas. Don't want to flood it out though. Alright. Looks like it's gonna run. Alright, let's get over to the case store and pick up our equipment and get started on making some money. There's the Case dealership and the workshop. Just pulled up in here. We gotta go talk to the person at the main desk. Uh, Let them know we're here to pick the equipment. It should be ready for us. We'll see. All right, let's go inside the building here. How you doing, sir? I'm here to pick up some equipment for Walter's farm. He said he was gonna call it in. He said it should be ready by the time I got here. Okay. All right. I'll go check it out. All right. He said it was in the back. So let's go back here and check it out. Look at this. The mechanic shop's pretty nice, ain't it? Oh, you can't enter. They won't let us enter. All right. Let's go back here and check for the equipment. Looky here. All right. This trailer looks like my uncle's. It is. I wonder how long it's been sitting up here. I'll have to get that when I get done here because I don't want them to charge me storage fees. I'm pretty sure they understand. And this tractor's nice on the inside. A lot more up to date than mine. Wow, look how smooth it runs. Let's get this stuff hooked up. I gotta get my front weights on. And then I have to hook up my mulcher, hoe, whatever you want to call it. I guess it depends on who you are or what you call them. Let's get this hooked up. Gotta have front weights. If not, it'll be back heavy. The equipment's pretty heavy, so need something to counter the weight. Alright, let's get this hooked up. Slowly back up here. Hook it up. Alright. Let's get to the field. Yeah, it's right over here close to us. Ain't far to travel at all. Look at that. Right above where we're at. That's pretty nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and get out. Go out this back way here. There's a little gate back here. Let's go take it. Alright. It should fit through here with no problem. Perfect fit. Let's take this little dirt road and we should be right there. Right past this field. Walter was a good friend of my uncle's. Uh, so he always sends me the work that he needs done, and if I'm willing to do it, I'll accept it. And he ain't always got the best prices, but he does what he can to help out. All right, this is the field. Let's get it unfolded. Wow, this is a lot bigger than what I thought it was. That's a good spread there. Shouldn't take too long to do this field with this. Alright, don't worry guys, I ain't gonna make you suffer through watching me do this whole field. I'm gonna speed up time and probably cut out a lot of the field work. All right, let's get my line set. All right. All right, let's get lined up here. All right, y'all ready? Let's get it done. All right, guys, we're finished with this field. Let's get this equipment set up back at the case place. Get it all folded up here. Hopefully, I hear back from my cousin. She owns a ranch here in Brazil. Uh, I'll probably be helping her out, and then she's probably gonna help me out. But right now, she's away on some business, so we need to get this equipment back over there. Walter said he left a check there to pay for the field. Once I get back, I need to go in there and collect it. But yes, man, this is some nice equipment here. All right, we need to go down this dirt road, and this should take us back around to check. See, yeah, it should go back around to the case dealership.
Alright, let's go in here and get my paycheck and let them know the equipment is back. Alright, sir. We got the equipment back, and Walter said he left a paycheck here for me. Alright. Alright, well, I appreciate it. Alright, let's go out here. I need to go get that trailer and take it back to the farm before they start charging me a storage fee. Make sure this truck still starts. Alright, here we go. Come on, truck, get in there. There we go. Oh, they got a nice little setup here. I think it's pretty neat. Alright, let's back this up and hook this up and get it back to the farm. I have an idea where I'm going to park this. Be out of the way until we need it. Alright. Alright, guys, it's almost 5 o'clock, so we're going to wrap this up. There's nothing I can really do. I don't want to start a contract this late in the afternoon. I'm going to go park this, and let me shut the gate, lock everything down, and go park this. And then we're going to call it a day. This trailer might come in handy later on. I might have to get one with ramps on it in case I need to haul some equipment, but this right here will do for supplies. Now, let's see. I think I'm going to park it behind these grain silos, out of the way, until we need it. Squeeze through here. Watch for this rubbish. Just right here in this little spot. Get it up in here straight. Right here is a good spot. Unhook and Go park the truck. This is going to be an interesting job here. Hopefully before too long I'll start making profit. I did make a little profit with contracts, but I want to be self-efficient. So we'll park it right here. I might work on this engine later on. Back it off of this a little bit. Alright, that's a good spot to park. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And I also have Twitch. I will put it on the screen here. So please support my channels. Thank you. Y'all have all have a good night.